Hey guys, it's Frank with another TavernsMug replay here in this best of three, best of three between Gamefriend and Senegalo Ruskov. We've got the VVI matchup on Broken Crown, which should be interesting. All right, Overcharged Bob's going to build going to power build a natural. Nothing new to see here. But I'm kind of curious as to how this is going to work out. Senegalo is really. I think he's kind of been a dark horse in the, not so long history of Stormgate, but he's really coming forward and bringing a lot of high quality Infernal gameplay. But I wonder what this will look like, mainly because I think Vanguard, the ability for Vanguard, or the fact that Vanguard have the Hedgehog, makes them pretty dangerous for Infernals. Because so much of the Infernal, usefulness is heavy armor. Ay, ay, ay. Let's see, one fiend. Okay, another fiend pops out. Ay, ay, ay. Another one pops out. Yeah, that brute wasn't going to live anyway. It's fine, it's fine. Oh! Oh, is the dog gonna get hit? No. No way. He's just too fast. He's gonna get the cabbage before the fiends can get him. Actually, having one fiend go for the cabbage while the other fiend attacks would be the move, in my opinion. Alright. Vault Conclave, another vault. No third, interestingly enough, but we do see a mech bay coming online. One racks into a mech bay. Okay. But no, like I was saying before, the Hedgehog is really interesting because it does that bonus to heavy damage. It's not so small that it clumps up to take a lot of the AoE damage from the Hellborn, but it's still super fast, so it can still jump on Hellborn while they're still in really low numbers. And it can obviously kite away Magmadons just forever, so it's gonna win there. And right now Infernals don't really have a good anti-light armor weapon. You could say that the Weavers would be a good answer to this, but Weavers are a good answer to Hedgehogs, but you only get so many lashes out of a Weaver, and it takes a long time for that energy to regenerate. And the Hedgehog numbers can get so high that, okay, if you lash a Hedgehog and it gets killed, then, okay, that's one Hedgehog gone. So, maybe you build a couple more Weavers, but then that's supply and resources that's spent for lashes, but not spent into DPS. I don't know. I just think that this might just be my personal, infernal bias talking, but I think that the Hedgehogs against Infernals are really good. Alright, Fiend's coming along to shoo away the doggy. Go home, doggy. You have a home to go to. Is this another... Oh, it's the BK Lab. Interesting. A BK Lab is thrown down, but there's only one barracks out right now. And this is a very vulnerable Vanguard player right now, I think. Oh, I love the double solar habitat, though, on the command post. Being able to just punch out Bobs, to just assembly line Bobs out to start getting more resources is really going to be scary for Senegalo later on. Yeah, especially if his third is up. This is not near enough saturation though. And we see a third going up for Gamefriend as well. Getting power built by, I think it's just 4 Bobs. I can't see behind that tree. But, oh no, we see a drop here. Was it a drop? No, he just charged through that tree line. But yeah, I think there's just so much. This is another thing about Infernals, is being able to respond to counterattacks is so painful. Alright, the Hellborn targeting down this Vulcan is nice. And he is going to shoo them away. Gamefriend not finding much value here. I think he might have killed, I don't know, a couple of units. I don't know what those were. But yeah, the imps were all evacuated. I don't know if they were evacuated or killed, but there's nothing mining at the natural. And, oh, they might have all evacuated over to the third. Okay, let's see here. Triple Vulcan and Lancer. Ay. Now this is what you want to be building, this is what you want to be building the Spriggans for. Nice catch on all these, on a couple of these Lancers anyway. They're going to continue to take that infest damage. Yeah, we've only got one Hellborn though. Ay. Yeah, here's my issue. There we go. Okay, so we see the lash. The shields up happens, and we simply do not have the DPS to be killing Vulcans right now. And that Weaver's just gonna get absolutely ripped to shred by these Vulcans. I would want to spread. Okay, Superstone goes down. But our thing's gonna be attacking. No. Okay, he wants things to be fighting next to the Superstone. No, you gotta bait him towards the Superstone that has such incredible DPS. These Hellborn are actually getting a lot done. The Weaver's getting quite a bit done as well. I think these Vulcans not focusing down the Weaver. What? How did 4 Vulcans die that quickly? Ay. That was a lot of resources and build time spent to not do a whole lot of damage here. He did manage to push back the Infernal Forces from, I guess, the Luminite camp, but it's not that impactful. Move speed buff for the Weaver while it's on Shroud is nice, but here we go. The move speed for the Hedgehogs is, so basically it's 7, and for the Weaver, well, I want to see when it's on Shroud. All right, so it doubles, so it's going to be 6 for the Weavers when it's on Shroud. All right, movement speed of 6 on Shroud is still going to get quite kited by the Hedgehogs, which is unfortunate. And I get that you don't want to do that for some of the units. You don't want to basically make Shroud the copy and paste of Creep in StarCraft 2, so you make everything really fast, so you don't get kited. But there's got to be an answer to being kited that isn't just like, all right, well, if you better have enough lashes, and if you don't have enough lashes, then I mean that's kind of it. You just have to take the damage and live with it. Yeah, the counter poke is there with the Hellborn, but you need it high enough numbers, and I think we actually are getting up into those numbers. There we go. A little bit of splash damage going down on those Hedgehogs in the back. The medtechs are going to be actually really good here. I suspect that the where is it? Here's the BK lab. It's almost guaranteed that they researched. Actually, we can see the energy regen here. Yeah, I think these medtechs have. I know they have Nano Swarm built. I don't know if they have System Shock researched or not. You can kind of tell. You can kind of tell by their energy regen, like where they're at on the upgrade chart, because each upgrade gives them more energy regen. But let's see here. Yeah, and I think conserving their energy for Nano Swarm is good. But man, so many Hellborn out. Oh, and they're just gonna be able to. Are they gonna be able to focus down this Sentinel? They are. And now it's the Infernals that are gonna occupy this bubble. There we go. Get inside the bubble. Ay, that Sentinel bubble is actually working so nicely for Senegalo. Another Sentinel is gonna go down. Medtech trying to reinforce from the low ground. It's gonna get picked off on the way over. Oofta. Yeah, Molten Touch is finished up, so all this Bob line is going to go down. Oy. And now the Hellborn can start sieging up that command post in the natural. Yeah, look at how many shots that took to kill one Hedgehog. That's one Hedgehog, which is honestly not that expensive. And to take all that damage from the Hellborn that would otherwise be focusing structures or heavily armored units is pretty good. So a couple of Nano Swarms go down just so they could heal on the move, which is quite nice. And yeah, Gamefriend's gonna clear up some Shroud, take care of the effigies. Alright, so we do have the range upgrade for the hedgehogs, which is nice. I hope that one day we get the, what is that? Oh no, cancel! Cancel! It's gonna go down! Here comes the response. Ay, ay, ay. I think it's just not worth it. I guess it gives them something to target that's not the imps and the shrine. Now the imps are gonna get evacuated, and he has to engage. Yeah, he has to get in here. Alright, a lot of gaunts are going to go down here, and they're going to start spreading their infest, but we do see a lot of the nano swarms getting cast by the medtechs. Medtechs would be taking that, and they would be taking a lot more damage if they weren't inside of that bubble, but they are inside of the bubble. All these hedgehogs, or a lot of the hedgehogs anyway, are starting to focus down the shrine. The shrine lives, though, and it looks like all of Gamefriend's units are going to get pushed back, but every time they get pushed back, they get right underneath another bubble, which is really good. No, but you need to micro your Hellborn to come forward. Yeah, there we go. There we go. And I don't know actually if the infest damage, I don't think the infest damage is affected by the Sentinel bubble. It shouldn't be, I don't think. Oh no, and it lives. Okay. But yeah, the Vulcans got taken care of. But at what cost? Like, there's really just the one Iron Vault that went down. And a lot of the imps did get evac'd over here to this Luminite mine, so there's 20 imps on one Luminite mine. It's a little ridiculous, I think, but no, it's fine. These hedgehogs are quick enough that they can get to the other side of the map, and they can say, look, you have to respond to me. And another bubble goes down. Gamefriend getting so much mileage out of these Sentinel bubbles. Oh, but the Shadow Flyers say, think again. Think again. Okay, so now we know for a fact that the medtechs are on tier 3. Skull's going to come forward and provide a lot of vision, honestly. But where's the Hellborn? Okay, the Hellborn are all the way back here, kind of derping out over each other. A lot of this army's on max white health. I wonder if these are all just recently trained or what. Yeah, Hedgehog. This is what I was talking about. Hedgehogs are really good against Infernals. And now look, they're going to come back down to the lower right. They're going to start taking out buildings. And there's nothing the Infernal can do. It's like, okay, you could either build Static D. Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing a Superstone, like, not right on the edge of the cliff, but a little bit farther back. Oh no, Magmadon was the wrong call. But the Shrine does get taken out, and this Magmadon's going to get completely annihilated by all those Hedgehogs. This is what I mean. Hedgehogs are so good against Infernal tech units. That, and honestly, Infernal's missing a lot of... it's missing tier 3. Everything's missing tier 3. But I hope that Frost Giant does the thing where the tier 1 units can be a viable counter. Not a hard counter, but a viable counter to tier 3 units. So it's the rock, paper, scissors of not just heavy armor, light armor, and the different attack types, but oh, holy fiends, that's a lot of fiends. But as well as like the different tech levels being able to counter each other. Oh man, that's a lot of dragon right there. Alright, and the Hellborn are going to be basically one-shotting Vulcans at this point. Another system shock goes down, but everything that got system shocked was at the back of the army, so they got caught up on the rest of the army. A couple of Shadow Flyers out here threatening the Sentinels. Yeah, and the more damage over time stacks that these units are taking, and the more they travel, it's like, all right, well, you're just going to be taking more damage. Oh, but does he see? Is this dragon going to get a huge plague hit off? Oh, does he have him backed into a corner? Not yet. How many of these hedgehogs are we going to see sieged up? None. They turn and fight. The bubble goes down. The Magmadons are inside the bubble. I think, yeah. Once the bubble gets abandoned, moving the Hellborn inside of the bubble is the move. Holy plague breath. Yeah, so much plague and so much molten touch are going to be causing a lot of damage to these hedgehogs here. Dragon's going to continue to get good shots off, and again, all these Infernals are moving into the bubbles where the hedgehogs just were. I think if the bubble goes down, you have to stay in there and fight. But no, it looks like the infest is just too good. shields up is going to go down on top of this Vulcan, but the Vulcan needs to really be focusing on the lightly armored units such as all the Gaunts, all the Fiends, but it doesn't matter. Gamefriend is down 132 supply to Senegalo's 270, and I think everything is just going to slowly get steamrolled here. Another thing that we never saw, GG says Gamefriend, but one more thing that we didn't really see much of that I think would have helped out Gamefriend a lot is sieging up maybe just 5 of the hedgehogs to threaten out the dragon, threaten the shadow flyers, to just free up the sentinels to be able to do all kinds of damage. But anyway, that was a fantastic game. GG's. Game 1 goes to Senegalo. Alright guys, here we are in Game 2 in this best of 3 between Senegalo and Gamefriend on Furious Resolve. One of my favorite maps. But it looks like they are cross-spawned from one another, which is going to give both players easy access to all. They can basically split the map diagonally, and they don't have to worry about, all right, which player has easier access to which camp. It's literally mirrored. They should be fine in that regard. I think Senegalo knows just how much time he's got. Here we go. Okay, so he doesn't know precisely where his opponent's at, but it's I think he can make a pretty educated guess just based on the timing for when the dog came out. Dog biting a building. Oh no, he wasn't able to body block. But the Brute and the Hexen are gonna run along over to the health camp. There we go. And they're gonna be taking the health camp. Nothing to see here, folks. In fact, we might do one of these. Bada bing. Hey, look at that. Is the dog gonna come over and be annoying? He is. I think he was trying to last hit the Brute. Oh, but now it's the Uno reverse card. The 3 Fiends are going to chase the dog because that one Fiend did manage to get the cabbage. Those Fiends and the Hexen managed to clean up the last of the health camp. And the Hexen takes minimal damage here. Oh, but is the dog going to come back and capture the health camp? He is. Ay. Wait, is he still scouting? No, Senegalo, you know where he's at. No, come on, man. Alright, Vision Camp's up next. Oh yeah, and fighting a dog that's inside of the health camp is not a good idea. Dog's going to be able to hang out and take the... Well, he's going to hang out and try and take the... do a little bit of damage to the shrine there. Shadow Demons go down, health camp, blah blah blah. Or not health camp, Vision Camp. And Gamefriend taking his natural. I love this choke. Knowing that Magmadons love to stomp in through things, it's one of their biggest strengths is their ability to push armies away, but they can't push buildings. So forcing them into a choke kind of like minimizes the amount of damage that a Magmadon conga line will do. They'll just line up one after the other to get through all this. And actually, I really like this too, kind of forcing them to zigzag around. This Sim City is... It's really impressive, actually. Gamefriend, I never would have like... put this much thought into sim-citying my natural, but I really like this, forcing the opponent to have to go like through the mine to get up to the main. That's a lot of Fiends. Whoa. Oh, is it enough though? Oh, that dog's gonna continue to be annoying. And the Bobs repair the doggy. They give him the pets. Alright, and here's the third. Not throwing the third down over here is interesting. Mainly because... I don't know, it seems like it would be a lot harder to defend this, but I guess not. This base is still on the high ground relative to what's over here on the double Therium. No, no, you almost... No! No, Senegalo! No! Okay. It's fine, though. These fiends doing their little patrol, their little parade there, to make sure that that Gamefriend doesn't try anything cheeky to try and get another base. No getting bases, it's not allowed. Alright, Vulcan's coming up saying, don't talk to me or my son ever again. And these two fiends are going to go back and continue to be annoying. Oh, but it never finished. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, but that is going to buy quite a bit of time for Senegalo to get the rest of his eco up, get the rest of his production structures up. I think that's one of the biggest things that is really annoying to me is like I'll expand and expand and I've got all these resources, but then I'll forget to make production structures. It's like, okay, cool. Now I have all this money, but I can't spend it fast enough because I didn't build vaults and conclaves alongside the rest of my expansions here. Ravenous Maw is another really cool name for a weapon. I hope they keep that name for the Fiend when we get the new Fiend and Brute combo. Alright, Vulcan Medtech Hedgehog. It actually worked out really well last game. I think it was just a matter of having the anti-air to deal with the dragon and the shadow flyers that would have done a lot more. Shields up goes down on the Hedgehog. And yeah, everything's gonna get kited here. I think. Okay, here's another one of my things that I learned as I'm just a lowly platinum player, but having the Hellborn turn around and continue to fire while you can threaten and force the hedgehogs to micro around. Just microing around the whoa, that's a lot of Vulcan. Never mind. You don't want to stand and fight that. Reinforcing right now would be really nice. Oh no, are they gonna come in though? I think they don't want to fight. They push Senegalo all the way back. And Senegalo does have enough animus for a Hellspawn Resurgence. What Gamefriend doesn't know, though, is that Senegalo doesn't have the money to be building more T2 units. Like, he can't just spit them out. Yeah, that's the one thing, is that the Infernals can spend so much money so quickly. But if you show up to their base and they already spent all the money that they have, like, well, yeah, they can quote-unquote insta-build units, but that's if they've got the money. And T2 units are expensive. And they go down pretty quickly to a lot of hedgehogs. Alright, looks like Gamefriend's going to be taking this Vision Camp, and I'm surprised that we haven't seen more harassment over here on this base yet. We do see the, what is this, a Bastion? No, a Rampart. The Rampart is keeping things pretty well guarded. It's kind of low on energy, though. Oh, and this is such a squishy army. This is so squishy. Yeah, we have a couple of Weavers, but that's not nearly enough. I think if a couple of Vulcans dash forward and one gets shields up and it starts doing all that AoE damage to the Gaunts, and the Hedgehogs can jump on the Hellborn as well, I think that could be a really big problem. Alright, Superstone's going to try and do some DPS, but a lovely Nightfall Infestation grabs quite a lot of these Infernals. There we go, and you have to turn and fight, I think. A lot of Plague goes down, but System Shock is going to remove all the debuffs. And these Fiends are going to run around and try and get a little bit more work done. Skull does land on the Vulcan, so we get good vision here. Is that Molten? No Molten Touch, I think. Yeah, Molten Touch is not just yet. I love the Shadow Flyers, though. Just keeping a few Shadow Flyers. Not just to zone out the Sentinel, either, but to also grant high ground vision. There's nothing that really requires detection yet from the... Oh, no, that's not true. I guess Vanguard could make Gravens, but we don't see them being made all that much. Despite Goo Bomb being really good. It's like, man, if you want to see an extra slow Infernal, get Gravens and start dropping Goo Bombs on everything. Especially because we're seeing a lot of We're seeing quite a few gaunts here. I actually wouldn't hate to see goo bombs. But like I said before, that's kind of what the Shadow Flyers lightly counter is anything that's cloaked, because they're pretty cheap and they give detection. Oh, but are we going to see the Vanguard force moving up behind here? We will. And we've got an attack on two different fronts from Senegalo, landing so many AoE shots here from his Hellborn into the Hedgehog Ball. And a lot of these medtechs are low on energy. Is there? Yeah, there's no energy regen camp on this map. Ay. So they've really got to focus on their passive energy regen to make it work. If anything, I wouldn't hate to see a couple more medtechs out, just so that the spells are ready a little bit faster than you would normally think. Now, yeah, there we go. Now Molten Touch is out. And yeah, it looks like, yeah. And the V5 Pencil Sharpener is out, and Senegalo's on the warpath. He doesn't have that much of a supply lead, but I think he's got quite a bit of a momentum lead here. Wait, no, don't just take this free damage. No, what? No, that V5 is gonna do so much friendly damage. Ay. There we go. Now we're landing hits. Now we're thinking with portals. Magmadon's gonna stomp on forward here. Oh, and he does have the stun upgrade, so a lot of these Hellborn, or a lot of these Hedgehogs are gonna get their attacks reset. Oh, and the Weaver fighting from inside of the bubble is just gonna be absolutely unkillable. Yeah, Sentinel bubbles being dropped, but with a mobility-heavy composition, it feels really weird. You really want to just like stick with it. In fact, I would say that moving the Hedgehogs once they're inside the bubble is just really not good. They're lightly armored, so they're not taking that bonus damage from the Hellborn. Yeah, they'll take the damage over time stuff, but they're going to be taking that anyway. Like I would think that you just have to keep them inside of the bubble, but it seems like it's mostly medtechs now. Just a couple of Hedgehogs left over. And Gamefriend is down to 150-ish supply, but Senegalo's bled off quite a bit as well. Man, those repair-matics are trying to do the best they can to keep each other alive and to keep the structures alive, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Senegalo's just going to march on forward here. His reinforcements taking a little while to show up, but he does have reinforcements showing up soon. And yeah, I just don't see any more army units from Gamefriend here. He might just have to try and mount a defense over here at his natural or something, but oh, a Helicarrier's out. A Helicarrier could do quite a bit of damage here. There's a lot of tier 1 that's it's pretty heavily damaged. I think he could wipe out quite a big swath of them. Bop, bop, bop. There we go. So you see a lot of corpses on the ground. Not really. Lash on the Vulcan comes out, and the Vulcan is gonna get stunned and focused to death. Shields up on the Helicarrier goes down, but he's not really microing it anywhere. And I think that's just because he knows that like he might be able to do like the Battle of Thermopylae here at his natural and try and do the whole Spartan thing, but nope, there's just way too many Infernals. GG, says Gamefriend. Senegalo takes the series 2-0.